The Nakajima Kikka was the first jet aircraft developed in Japan and represents one of the most ambitious technological efforts undertaken by the Japanese aviation industry during the final phase of World War II. The project was initiated in 1944 when the strategic situation of Japan had become extremely critical and the country was searching for advanced technologies capable of countering the overwhelming air and naval superiority of the Allied forces. Japanese engineers became aware of the revolutionary German jet aircraft programs through military cooperation with Nazi Germany, particularly the development of the Messerschmitt Me-262 and the Arado Ar-234. Although Japan never received a complete aircraft and only limited technical documentation reached the country due to the difficulty of wartime communications, the available information was sufficient to inspire engineers at the Nakajima Aircraft Company to begin designing a domestic jet aircraft. The result was the Kikka, whose name means orange blossom, developed under a Japanese Navy requirement for a special attack aircraft capable of delivering bombs against Allied fleets approaching the Japanese home islands. Unlike the German Me-262, which was designed primarily as a high-performance fighter, the Kikka was conceived as a simpler and smaller aircraft that could be produced rapidly with the limited industrial resources still available in Japan. The design incorporated a compact twin-engine configuration with the turbojet engines mounted beneath the wings, straight wings with moderate sweep, and a conventional tail layout. Because the aircraft was intended to operate from improvised or very short runways, engineers also designed it to use detachable rocket boosters to assist takeoff when carrying heavy bomb loads. Development proceeded at remarkable speed given the deteriorating conditions of the Japanese industry in 1945, and the first prototype was completed in mid-1945. The aircraft performed its maiden flight on 7 August 1945 at Kisarazu Airfield, successfully demonstrating the basic feasibility of Japan's first jet aircraft. However, the program was interrupted only days later by the end of the war, preventing further testing and operational deployment. From a technical perspective, the Kikka was powered by two turbojet engines derived from German concepts, ultimately the Japanese Ne-20 engine, which produced approximately 4.7 kilonewtons of thrust each. The aircraft had a length of about 8.1 meters and a wingspan of roughly 10 meters, making it significantly smaller than most contemporary jet aircraft. Its maximum speed was estimated at around 690 kilometers per hour, with a range of approximately 900 kilometers, depending on payload and configuration. The planned armament for operational variants consisted primarily of a bomb load of about 500 kilograms carried under the fuselage, reflecting its intended role as a fast attack or kamikaze aircraft rather than a dedicated fighter. Some proposals also suggested the installation of cannons for defensive or interception roles, but these versions were never completed. When compared with its foreign competitors, the Kikka was technologically less advanced than the German Me-262, which had greater speed, heavier armament, and superior performance as a fighter aircraft. Nevertheless, the Japanese design emphasized simplicity and adaptability, attempting to compensate for limited materials and manufacturing capacity. In contrast with the Me-262's sophisticated engineering and high production complexity, the Kikka was intentionally simplified so that it could theoretically be built in dispersed facilities using fewer strategic resources. Compared to the Gloucester Meteor, another early operational jet aircraft, the Kikka also had lower thrust and more modest performance, but it reflected Japan's attempt to enter the A-jet under extremely constrained circumstances. Ultimately, only one prototype ever flew, and the aircraft never entered production. Despite its limited operational history, the Nakajima Kikka remains an important milestone in the history of Japanese aviation, representing the country's first step into jet propulsion and demonstrating the rapid technological adaptation attempted by Japan during the final months of World War II.